So hello beautiful soul, my name is Francis and I help people to discover their life and to master their life. In today's video, I want to share with you the #1 insight that I got from participating in Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within virtual experience. So watch this video till the end because I'm gonna condense 4 days in just few minutes here for you, including adding some of my own perspective and knowledge. First of all, let me begin by saying that I am a student of Tony Robbins since almost 10 years, and I truly believe Tony is the real deal, and following him has changed my life for the better. So I truly recommend you any of his book, program, courses, go because it would be worth it. Now, during this 4 days event, we learn a ton of things, and I have a ton of notes, like probably 100 notes that I've been reviewing. But what I've been trying to do is truly to look for the goal, to look into my notes, to look into my mind and say, okay, what is the #1 thing that I learned in this event that if I will apply it, will change all of my life? I think I have found it, and here it is. Are you ready, my friend? Give me a like, leave a like under this video if you're ready. So I learned that what it is stopping us in anything in our life is basically just a disempowering emotional pattern. Repeat with me, disempowering emotional pattern. That's all it is. What is truly stopping us is just a habit that limits how much of our potential we truly utilize. So what we need to do, we must identify, destroy, and replace that pattern by integrating this knowledge with what I've already learned from other teachers, especially the work of Dr. David Hawkins and in his book Power versus Force. My biggest insight was that we can break all of those limiting patterns by basically raising our frequency and getting into the habit of doing so consistently. Basically my insight was that state equals frequency. There is a correlation between the concept of getting in state, taught by Tony and by many people in the field of personal development and peak performance, and the concept of raising one's frequency that is taught more by, let's say, spiritual teacher, philosopher, and thinker. So all that I'm saying till here is that I truly realized that what is stopping us in our relationship, in our personal life, in our professional life, is nothing else than a habit of thoughts and words we repeat, habits of feeling that we feel, a habit of physiology, and we literally just get habituated into this. We don't realize that this happened unconsciously. We are not aware of this, and this pattern, of course, put us in a state that is not resourceful, where we're not going to take action, we're not going to do positive things, and we go on a downward spiral. So I want to bring some of my own knowledge and insights here. We all know that everything around us is vibration. Science tells us everything is vibration. And when we live our life, we can live in many different emotional states that correlate with the specific vibrations. And when we are angry, when we're frustrated, basically we are in lower vibration, in frequency that are not very useful. They're not empowering. They are disempowering. They are destructive for us and for other people. While the more we raise our frequency, and we go towards gratitude, joy, and love, and a feeling of oneness, the more we become resourceful for ourselves and for others. So the lower frequency feelings, they bring us in action. For example, fear. When we're afraid, what we do? We freeze. We don't do things. So we distract ourselves with the illusion of action. When we are angry, we become hyperactive and we do a lot, but we mistake movement for achievement. We do a lot of things, but then we don't get what we want. But it's only when there is like a tipping point where we move to courage, where we move to willingness, we move to reason. We say, hey, wait a minute, it is possible, I can do it. We move to love, we move to joy, peace, we move to higher frequency. Then look what happened. We move to happiness and productivity. We move to peak performance without stress. This is what is called a state of flow, when your brain moves to temporary hypofrontality, is it called? Basically, your blood moves from the neocortex in the lateral sides of the brain. There is literally physiological shift that happen in the body when you are in a state of flow. And then when we go even higher in the scale of frequency, then we have synchronicity, we have miracles happening in our life. And I'm sure you had some of this moment. I surely had. Have you ever had an experience where you really try hard to get something, you use a lot of force, but things don't really work the way you wanted? And on the opposite, sometimes you just do something out of joy, out of spontaneity, out of wanting to serve, wanting to do something beautiful, and then everything just seems to fall into place, and there is kind of a God flow to your life. You know, I'm sure you had this experience. You know, this is the difference of power versus force. Instead of using force and forcing things into place, then we tap into a higher power when we raise our frequency. So Tony has been teaching about state for years, and many spiritual teachers have been talking about raising one frequency. And I've been hearing these things for many years, but this was the first time that I really made the connection and understood, wow, there is this correlation, and we can truly change our life by raising our frequency, by changing our state. And there are many ways. You can use meditation, you can use prayers, you can use chanting, you can use jumping around like we do with Tony. You know, many people don't understand all the jumping around that Tony make us do. But the reason is that when you jump around, when you dance, when you scream, when you shout, you literally activate your body in a different way, and you do raise your frequency. In fact, all of these emotional states that we can be in, they correlate to a specific chemistry. So there is a specific chemistry when we're sad and depressed and stressed out. You know, we have a lot of cortisol in our system. When we are positive and confident, then we are full of dopamine, we are full of serotonin, we're confident. You know, our testosterone rises. There is different chemistry when we are feeling resourceful. And moreover, there are also specific brain waves. So when we are very stressed, we are in beta, and our brain is not utilizing the best of its potential. So we know now that peak performance usually happens in alpha wave, when we're actually kind of calm and relaxed and clear. And we also know some thinkers, some researchers think that when we go deep into theta wave, which is the frequency of your brain that you get when you sleep or in deep meditation, then this is when miracles happen, when synchronicity happens. All I'm trying to say here is that all that is stopping us is just a pattern, and we must identify the pattern. And you can ask yourself this question. You can ask yourself, what is a daily, disempowering pattern of words and thoughts and emotion and feelings and physiology that I use? And then we need to realize that this pattern correlates to specific frequency, specific chemistry, and specific brainwave that we literally get addicted, get habituated, and then they cause us not to really utilize our true potential, and then we fail, and then we condition the idea that we're not good enough and that we can never do it and that it will never work. It's not true. It's just that it will never work from that state, from that low vibration energy. From that state, yes, it will not work. It's not gonna, you can get lucky, but you will revert to the lower frequency. If you read the book by Dr. Hawkins, he talks about all these levels of frequency, and there are many of them. For any human emotion, there is a level of frequency, and we don't live at one level all the time, but we move. But we have kind of an emotional home. You know, some people always stays into anger, some people stay more into joy and appreciation. That you can divide this whole scale, this spectrum, in 4 main levels, and these are also called the 4 levels of consciousness. So the first level of consciousness is the level of life happens to me. I am a victim. You know, I always pointing fingers and blaming, and I feel like I'm a victim of circumstances. Then there is a moment when I'm kind of start to awaken, and this is the level of people who stress, or even the people who are achievers, and is the level of life happened by me. And this is a good shift, because I start to take responsibility, I stop blaming, and I start to try to make things happen. This is a good level where I feel also most people in personal development are, but it's still not the ultimate level, because here there is still a lot of force. There is a lot of forcing. And I know many people burn out when using just sheer force and will. It's not sustainable. It's not the end. So there is another level. It is the level of flow, when life happens through me and I become a channel. I understand that I become a force for good. I become a force for God. And because I'm serving, more power is given to me, is flowing to me and through me. And even this is not the end level, because there is then the level of oneness. Life happened as me. I am the universe. I am connected. I think all of us have some level of this experience. Personally, I had some crazy experiences in my life. One time I had a near-death experience, and after it I was for 47 days silent, because this was really the level that I experienced oneness, and I'm gonna make another video about it. But for now, I just want to focus on flow, which is, I feel, where most of people like you and me wants to move from. You know, we don't want to stress, we don't want to use a lot of force, we want to move into alignment and power with our soul, with our source. So, and this was the first part of my insight, but it goes deeper than that. Basically, beside being addicted and habituated by this lower frequency, these lower states, this emotional pattern, we often don't change also because we use this pattern to fulfill our needs in a negative way. Basically, there is a hidden primary benefit that we get by being addicted to our disempowering patterns, and we use them to fulfill our needs. If you study the works of Tony Robbins, you will learn about 6 needs psychology, and I'm not gonna explain it here, but basically just say that all that we do, all the human do, we do for 6 main reasons, 6 main needs that are inborn into us. And you know, this is not much different than what some spiritual teacher, even I think I heard Sadhguru saying something like this, like, you know, the person who is in the bar drinking, or the person who is chasing the Ferrari, and the person who is in the monastery meditating, basically are trying to reach the same thing, are just using a different mean to a similar end, trying to fulfill a similar need. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is that sometimes we don't change because our disempowering pattern, we use them to fulfill some of these needs. I'm gonna share one of my own patterns so that you can understand how this applies, for example, in my own life, and hopefully you can reflect in your own life. For example, I realized that I had an emotional habit of becoming overwhelmed, confused, and stressed out when thinking about creating a new project. You know, I every time I had an awesome idea, a great idea, I had this habit of getting into paralysis of analysis. Basically, I got stuck in my head instead of being in my heart and being present into the moment. So now you ask, but what needs does that fulfill? Well, it maintains the status quo. It was keeping me in my comfort zone, and is fulfilling the need of security. So besides security, I also was trying to fulfill the need of significance and love and connection. What do I mean? By getting in this paralysis of analysis, in this stress of I don't know what to do, I was obsessing over myself. The focus was on me. It was a me trip, you know? And I was basically in a fear and in an insecurity that got me stuck in circles wondering, am I good enough? What am I good enough? And how will people react? Will I be significant? Will I be accepted? So I was worrying about security, love, connection, and I was using this state to basically not step into action, not creating amazing things, playing it small, and fulfilling in a negative way some of my human needs. So my breakthrough that I'm happy to share with you, and I want to commit to this, is that number one, I must stop to unconsciously sabotaging myself to playing small. Try to fulfill the need of security, significance, and love. In other words, stop seeking approval, stop seeking belonging and external validation. How many of you can relate? And number two, I must shift focus from myself to others. I stop wondering, am I good enough? I start asking, how can I serve you? And I think many people can relate to this. I have all these beautiful ideas, this beautiful way in which I can help people, and then I was stopping myself because I was in this me trip. Am I good enough? Instead of asking, hey, you're there, how can I serve? So the breakthrough, if I want to condense it, is I must move from me to the cosmos. If I focus on me and try to fulfill my need, I get a little. If I focus on you, I get a little bit more. If I focus on us, I get much more. So the paradox of all of this is that by focusing on myself, the needs of my personality, the needs of my ego, and by focusing on what am I getting, I will not truly fulfill those needs. I will not get true security, true significance, and love. But I will just get surrogates. And think about it, there are people who are very successful, a beautiful relationship. Apparently, they have the things that should make them happy, but they're not fulfilled. Why? Because they settle for surrogates. They don't have true love. They have followers. They don't have true friends. They have people who want to get something from them. They don't have true security. They have money, but that's not true security. If instead we focus on us, and us for me is intended beyond just humans, the human family, but the ecosystem, the beautiful planet where we live, and maybe beyond that, our galaxy. You know, if we focus on us, if we focus on the spiritual needs, if we understand we are part of something bigger, and if we focus on how am I serving, what am I giving to this something bigger, then I will fulfill all my other needs at the highest level, getting true security, true significance, and true love without even trying. You know, I've been listening Tony talking about a form of this for years, for 10 years. But this time, I think it truly got me to a deeper level. And I understood this in spiritual terms, but I didn't understand it, how to bring it into my daily life, into project creation. And you know, Neil Donald Walsh, in one of his books, of Conversation with God, he said, we have to move from concept to experience in the expression of divinity. And I think this is what we are talking about here. We need to understand in whatever we do, in our relationship, in our business, in our investing, in our lovemaking, in whatever we do, there is really a level of shifting consciousness and moving into this, oh wow, I'm part of something bigger. It's just coming to my mind, you know, I have another brand where we work with Tantra and sexuality, and we have people with intimacy. And in Tantra, there is some processes where you dedicate your lovemaking to the gods, to divinities, to something greater than you. Even in yoga, you know, if you practice yoga, often the yoga teachers say, okay, we think about who you're dedicating your practice to, and it is usually something outside yourself, bigger than yourself. This is really what we're talking about, and I'm getting goosebumps here, is really, yes, moving from concept to experience in the expression of divinity, you know. So to recap this video where I'm trying to condense all that I learned, number one, we need to raise our frequency. The tactical, moment-to-moment, daily-to-daily solution to transform our life is, and to replace these disempowering patterns, is really to raise our frequency / change our state, and developing the habit and the awareness to do that day by day. So whenever I find myself in a negative state, I need to identify it and make the decision to change it, to do whatever it takes. Take a cold shower, jump up and down, meditate, practice gratitude. There are billions of tools. I'm sure you can figure them out. I'm also going to make more videos. But change your frequency, change your state. Don't stay. If you are in a lower frequency, you cannot get high frequency results. You know, it's very simple. It's like physics. So number two, we need to focus on the cosmos. I like to create quotes. I like poetry. So don't look at the self. Look at the stars. You know, even if you don't have a spiritual belief, think about this. All that we experience in our time-space reality truly come from the center of the galaxy. Science knows this. And there is a work that I do, I will tell you more in another video, which I call the Symphony of Being. And in this work, I often refer to Mother Galaxy as our divine mother. And I believe she truly is. You know, everything that we experience here comes from the center of the galaxy. All the atoms, all the energy, all the matter that we are made of, that our world is made of, comes from there. So don't focus on the self. Understand you're part of something much bigger. And the strategic long-term solution to annihilate your limitation, to evolve in your life, is to adopt more of a cosmocentric perspective, to start focusing on what you're giving instead of on what am I getting. So my friend, thank you so much for watching. I hope you like this video and you add value from it. I hope it will help you to reflect and you're going to implement what you've learned. Actually, let me know in a comment below. And before you go, I wish to let you know that my purpose in life, my ikigai, is to inspire and empower people to discover their gifts and to share their light with the world. And in this video, I'm really doing my best to serve you from the best of my ability. And if you wish to support me and to receive more videos like this one, then join the family, join the community, and subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell button to stay updated. Moreover, you can like this video, share it, and leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you, your insights, your questions, your feedback, your experiences. Let me know below. So my friend, I will see you soon in the next video. Until that moment, share your light with the world. Much love, my friend.